Hey everybody, Tammy here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Here in central Wisconsin, it's a little bit overcast, but mostly sunny and kind of windy. It is cold. I will admit that it is cold, but I'm okay with that. I'm ready for fall. So you guys, if you're hopping on live, go ahead and type your name in the comments so I can say hey to you, and I appreciate it. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and drop replay in the comments so that I can say hi. So today, you guys, I have to admit I am nervous. I've actually put notes over the top of my face so that I don't have to see me talking. So I'm just a little bit nervous right now. I'll still be able to see your comments, but I want you guys to walk away from this video with a different idea, a different way of thinking about clutter in your home. Perhaps you'll, like I said in the description, perhaps you guys will grab onto this and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is exactly the way of thinking that I needed. And you're going to grab onto it and you're going to run with it. And perhaps you're going to be like, Tammy, I think this is a little hokey. It's a little bit different. I've never heard of such a thing. And maybe you'll have questions. And I urge you to share those questions with me. And do it in this group if at all possible, or shoot me a message. I'm okay either way, but when you share in the group, it's going to get conversation going, and it's going to get other people giving their thoughts and ideas too. So I do feel that this concept is a little bit revolutionary, you guys. When you go into Google clutter or how to eliminate clutter, what do you see? You see a whole bunch of negativity. Oh, when you have clutter all over your house, it causes anxiety, it causes stress. I am not completely in disagreement with that. I'm more in disagreement with how these articles say that you have to deal with the clutter in your home. Simplify, get rid of stuff, just throw it away, donate it, sell it, whatever the case may be. And you guys, to me, that thought process made me stop before I would even get started. And that thought process is what made me feel anxious. So the revolutionary idea here that I'm sharing with you guys is that clutter is not a bad thing. And when we focus on that clutter, that is what causes the stress and the anxiety. Just the visual cue of it, the thought of clutter is masses and masses and piles of just junk laying around. I beg to differ that it's junk. A lot of that stuff that's laying around, and the reason why it causes anxiety and stress, is because there's stuff in there that's important. There's stuff in there that you need to take action on. So let me share a little story with you. About 2.5 years ago, I was able to quit working and come home. But when I came home, and before I quit working, and even after I was home for like a year and a half, I couldn't get over the feeling of frustration because we had clutter in our house. And I always tell my husband now, I couldn't see it then, but I always tell him now, if nobody lived in our house, we would never have clutter. We would never have to clean. We would never have to organize. It'd be really simple, right? But the fact of the matter is, people live in our home. We all live in our home, if you get what I'm saying. So my thought process over the past year and a half or 2 years, I started to shift it to looking at what I did at work that was so successful. I wasn't a cluttery, unorganized, disorganized mess at work, and I had a lot more people working for me than what I have in my own family. So part of the issue back then was I felt like since I could keep my stuff together at work, I must put more value on my work life than I do my family life, because I was able to do it then at work, but I wasn't able to make it all happen at home. And that lent to the anxiety, that lent to the stress and the frustration. And quite frankly, hey Linda, thanks for hopping on. But quite frankly, that feeling is what made me yell at the kids a lot, like, why can't you pick up after yourselves? And it was just really a chaotic mess. And that's what people associate with clutter. So again, as I said in the beginning, and Linda, you'll want to go back to the beginning if you weren't watching, and you're going to want to hop on and check it all out. But I urge you, I really recommend looking at clutter a little bit differently. So instead of being overwhelmed and anxious and stressed out by clutter, let's take a different approach. Let's say, what are my priorities? So a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I did a little series of posts about setting your priorities. The reason that this is so important is because once you know what your priorities are, you can go to work on making sure you're not missing anything in those priorities. So let me give you another example. I had mounds and mounds of papers all over the place. I had no system. It was just a mess. And one summer, I missed signing my daughter up for the softball tournament schedules because I couldn't find the stupid piece of paper. I didn't even know about it. I forgot about it. And when the emails started coming out and her friends were going to be participating in these tournaments, she was not able to because I never filled out the stupid piece of paper. I felt horrible. And that was a whole summer. There was nothing I can do. They ordered jerseys, they schedule it all out, they have their team, they have their practices. There was just nothing I could do to make it right. So I did vow to not let that happen again. My priority is my family. Everybody's priority is their family to some degree. But you have to know what your priorities are in order to be sure that you are focusing on them and putting systems in place. That's my point, you guys. Sorry, I lost my train of thought momentarily. But if you know what your priorities are, you're going to set systems and processes in place to manage that. So I have, and with many of you, and it's posted in the group, I've shared with you the back to school paper processing plan. That plan has saved me from messing up again. And that is the difference. Instead of worrying about the magazines that my husband has laying all over the table in the living room, the coffee table, that's clutter, you guys, right? I don't need to worry about that clutter because that's not going to make a difference in my life. That's not making a difference in the priorities of my family. It's annoying, yeah, it can be annoying. However, when you know you have everything covered because you put processes in place, that stress, that anxiety, that frustration that comes when you see those magazines laying on the table or the kids' toys laying on the floor, you guys, that frustration subsides and that stress subsides because you have the processes in place to have everything that's most important to you covered. So I'd love your feedback on that. I'd love to know what you think about that. And I'm going to just wrap up with one final little, I guess, piece of information. The fact that the things we read about how to eliminate the clutter in your home and make it look like this immaculate magazine cover, that is not, in my opinion, that is not realistic. So the past couple of months I've spent in the basement sorting through 8 years of stuff because stuff would pile up. I'd shove it in a box and I'd shove it into the basement. We're finishing our basement finally, and I had to go through all of that stuff. You guys, I had maternity clothes yet, and there's just some things that I really, really struggled to part with. And if I was of the mindset that I had to just get it out of my house, I have to donate it, I have to sell it, or I have to just throw it away, that's more than what I could handle. So there are different options. You can keep the things that you want to keep. There are ways to keep them, and it is a choice that you just need to make. And so there's creative ways that you can be to handle all of those types of things. But my point is, if I had gone into this basement cleaning program or process that I did with the mindset that I really just had to get rid of everything, I really never would have gotten started. And literally, it took me from the time, maybe a year after we moved into this house, until this last summer to get past, I don't have to throw it all away. I don't have to donate it all. There are some things I can keep. It was a discussion with my husband, and he's like, you don't have to throw away or donate all your maternity clothes. You guys, I know it's crazy, but I have memories are attached to some of those things. But anyhow, thought process that I want you to walk away with. Don't worry about the clutter. Worry about prioritizing and putting systems in place. So there will be more to come on that as we move forward in this group. Watch for your emails. And again, I hope you've watched this through to the end because it really is and has been worth it. Thanks, guys, and I hope this helps. Feel free to invite friends and family into this group. This is just a free group that I'm hoping will help you. Will help you with your home organization and home management. And it's all about thinking a little differently. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.